Hello, fellow Monstas. I am back with some good news for all those monster movie fans. Oh, my bad. Superhero movie fans. Guess what? Some of our little monsters were able to find out the upcoming movies which will change the way how DC and Marvel Universe are going on. Isn't that awesome? Well, who does not enjoy a superhero movie flick, right? So let's get started with the list. Number 1, The New Mutants. The New Mutants have been through a bumpy road for a very long time. Its first trailer was released 2 years ago in October 2017, and since then it has not seen a day of light. It is supposed to be the very first superhero and horror genre hybrid, and it will bring this new age mutants team to the big screen. The New Mutants were first introduced in the comic book novels with the same name in 1892, and since then it has been revived several times and has its series. The series is based on a group of child mutants who discovered their powers and learn how to control them just as the X-Men, but also learn to overcome their fears. But with the introduction of New Mutants in the X-Men world, a new world of sci-fi and supernatural was also explored. We hope to see this 20th Century Fox movie do well in theaters, especially after their last X-Men installment Dark Phoenix bombed at the box office. Number 2, Black Widow. Our own favorite Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff, is finally getting her movie. It's about time, right? She was first introduced in MCU with the movie Iron Man 2, and since then it has been a long road to the Infinity Saga. Fans kept on loving Black Widow so much that they started demanding for a Black Widow movie. Our own Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, listened to the fans and gave a green light to the project. Although the Black Widow movie would be a prequel, as you already know she died in the Endgame, spoilers, but hey, I know you already have watched the Endgame. If you haven't, just stop the video and watch it. This movie is supposed to tell the fans what exactly happened in Budapest and also will introduce the Taskmaster. It would be awesome to see Natasha fighting him. We also heard that the Red Guardian is also going to appear in the movie, and those who don't know about him, he is the Soviet equivalent of Captain America and is as strong as him. What a great cast to tribute the Black Widow one last time. I really hope the time travel shit happens again and she comes back. Number 3, Venom 2. When the idea of introducing an anti-hero was announced by Sony with the movie Venom in 2018, no one ever thought it would be such a huge box office hit. But fans always had faith because Tom Hardy was playing Eddie Brock, aka Venom. We all know that Tom Hardy has always given his best. This is the reason the movie was such a success and collected over $850 million worldwide. It did not take a huge time for Sony to consider for a second installment for the movie, and now in this movie, the Carnage is being introduced to the Sony's Marvel Universe. With the Sony-Marvel deal in place, it seems Sony is more interested in making its own universe of anti-heroes, and we also heard that maybe our own Peter Parker, aka the Spider-Man, might appear soon in some of the upcoming movies. Who knows what happens with the Sony and MCU deal, but these rumors are surely good enough to keep the fans excited. After all, we all want to see Spider-Man fight alongside or against Venom or Carnage. Every superhero fan dream ever. Number 4, Morbius. After introducing Venom and tasting success with the movie, Sony did not stop there and started finding the right person to portray the one and only living vampire in MCU. Morbius. The search ended with our own perfectionist, Jared Leto, and as soon as the first fan art had been teased for Morbius, fans were sure that Jared was born to play the role of the living vampire. For those who know little about Morbius, let me put a short brief about him. Michael Morbius is a biochemist who was first introduced in Marvel Comics in 1971 and was suffering from a rare blood disease. He was desperately trying to find a cure for his disease, but when his experiment went wrong, he inadvertently infected himself with a form of vampirism instead. What a cool origin story, isn't it? When the trailer dropped for this movie posters from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies were also spotted, and so was the Vulture from the movie Spider-Man Homecoming. These Easter eggs were enough for the fans to lose their minds and explore the possibilities of our MCU's Spider-Man to be collabed soon with Sony's universe of anti-heroes. Number 5, The Eternals. After the events of the Endgame, fans were really concerned about who would be the next savior of planet Earth when Captain Steve Rogers has retired, Black Widow had died, and our beloved Iron Man is also no more. Love you, 3000 Iron Man. Damn, that makes me upset, I know it did you too. But soon Marvel Studios announced that they were working on an Eternals movie and it was going to be released in 2020. With the introduction of Eternals in MCU, fans were super excited, but when the actual cast was announced, it blew our minds. The Eternals marks the return of Lara Croft. Confused? I was talking about Angelina Jolie. Angelina is playing the role of Thena the Fierce Warrior. The outstanding cast also includes Richard Madden as the all-powerful Akaris, Gemma Chan as humankind-loving Cersei, Kumail Nanjiani as the cosmic-powered Kingo, Lauren Ridloff as the super-fast Makari, Brian Tyree Henry as the intelligent inventor Phastos, Salma Hayek as the wise and spiritual leader Ajak, Leah McHugh as the eternally young, old soul sprite, Don Lee as the powerful Gilgamesh, Barry Keoghan as the aloof loner Druig, and Kit Harington as Dane Whitman. Who is ready to see these celestial beings finally coming to the MCU? I am. And this time they reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants. Number 6, Deadpool 3. Deadpool. With this name, only one image comes to my mind: Ryan Reynolds, and I am sure you also cannot think of anyone else playing Deadpool. Ryan is Deadpool. When the first test footage for Deadpool got leaked, or was leaked intentionally, who knows, the internet blew up and no one expected Ryan to play Deadpool with this ease. Everyone then wanted more, and guess what? We then got an actual Deadpool movie. The first Deadpool movie was the highest-grossing R-rated film ever and the biggest box office success for Fox since Avatar. People were then excited to see Ryan come back again to play Deadpool, and then the second installment was released, which was also a box office hit, and both films delivered over $1.5 billion worldwide for Fox Studios. Soon Ryan announced that he would be a part of MCU as well. #Deadpool will be joining MCU soon. Ever since Disney acquired the film and television assets of Fox Studios in March 2019, MCU has been planning to introduce Deadpool soon and also bring the friendly neighborhood superhero together. You know who I am talking about, right? And it would be super cool to finally see an R-rated movie from MCU. Deadpool also opens the door for X-Force and Mutants in MCU. So hyped for the future. After all, who does not wants to see the Merc with a mouth finally alongside Wolverine? Number 7, Wonder Woman 1984. With DC Comics struggling to deliver a blockbuster, no one thought Wonder Woman would break all records and be the highest-grossing DC superhero movie since the Dark Knight Rises trilogy, and also be the very first female superhero movie to get this hype and success. But things were not the same when it was announced that Gal Gadot was going to play Wonder Woman. People were not really happy to see Gal as Wonder Woman, as they felt she is too skinny. However, when the first trailer released for Wonder Woman, things started changing. Finally, when the movie was released and people watched it, they were convinced that only Gal could have put justice to this iconic superhero. Since then, Wonder Woman has also appeared in other DC movies, and it was announced that Wonder Woman 2 aka 1984 was soon going to be in production. With the new trailer, I am excited to see her again, and I am sure you have also seen the trailer and are equally excited. After all, Steve is back, and the main villain Cheetah, who is portrayed by the talented Kristen Wiig, is all set to fight Wonder Woman. We hope to see more of Wonder Woman and maybe a future collab with the new Batman. Oops, spoilers again. Number 8, Cyborg. Cyborg has a great history and was first introduced in DC Comics in October 1980. He has been associated with Teen Titans at the start but was one of the founding members of Justice League. He was also first introduced to the infamous Justice League movie, which was released in 2017 and which was supposed to be DC's first offering for a superhero team movie in response to Marvel's Avengers. But even after creating hype and some big names associated, the movie did not do well and was considered a flop. Since then, the fate of a Cyborg solo movie was in dark, but recently it was announced that a Cyborg movie was indeed taking place, and we can't wait to see it. In Justice League, we only saw a short glimpse of Cyborg's origin story, and it deserved to be told in its own way. Cyborg is one of the strongest and most advanced humanoids with genius-level intellect. In fact, he has all the abilities to be a leader and was also a leader of the Justice League in a comic issue published by DC Comics. Number 9, The Batman. Batman. Do we even need to mention who is he? Batman has been the fan favorite of all superhero genre fans. Even Marvel fans love Batman. There have been various Batman films released in past decades, and most of them have managed to do well also. However, Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy is considered the best amongst all. With the recent failure of the Batman adaptation by Ben Affleck, DC was concerned about how they would proceed with the upcoming Batman solo movie. But all of a sudden it was announced that the handsome Twilight vampire, Robert Pattinson, is going to be the next Batman. Most of the fans were delighted to hear this news, as they could not dream more of the perfect jawline Robert has, and that could make the Batman look exactly how he is portrayed in the comic books. Well, it seems we finally have the perfect Batman. Recently, the first look for the new Batman movie has been teased, and Robert is looking amazing. DC hit a low with multiple non-performing movies such as Batman vs Superman, Justice League, and the famous Green Lantern. Even Deadpool joked about the Green Lantern and requested not to make the superhero costume green or animated. Lol. But with successful movies such as Wonder Woman, AquaMan, and the Batman, it seems there is still hope for a DC superhero universe and finally the Justice League that we deserve. Number 10, Black Adam. In 2019, DC took us by surprise by releasing a trailer for Shazam. Zachary Levi was introduced as Shazam, and this movie was different from what usually DC has to offer. DC is known for their dark and serious narration, but Shazam explored a different side of DC, as it was a fun and light comedy-based narration, just like how Marvel do with their superhero movies. Even though Shazam was a success, people were actually accusing DC of copying Marvel's style to revive their own dying universe. But the main question everyone had is, where is Black Adam? There were long rumors about Black Adam and that Dwayne Johnson has been approached for the role. Dwayne did not comment on this initially, but later on confirmed the same. Fans were super happy to finally see The Rock as a supervillain. We all know that The Rock will rock the world even as a villain, but Black Adam did a no-show in the first Shazam movie. Although there was a mention on Black Adam in the movie, the creative team decided to bring in Black Adam in his own solo movie. After all, a solo movie with The Rock is better than a short cameo, right? For those who don't know, Black Adam is a nemesis of the Marvel Shazam family, and he was once called Mighty Adam but got nicknamed Black Adam because of the heinous crimes he eventually started to commit. Let us see what DC has planned for the movie, and I hope to see more DC characters introduced with this movie. Number 11, Thor. Love and Thunder. Since the first Thor movie, a lot has changed for Chris Hemsworth and Thor as well. We were introduced with a Thor who acted carelessly and was soon punished by his own father, Odin. He was even no more worthy to lift his most beloved weapon, Mjolnir. Things changed and Thor proved himself to be a worthy god of thunder and also the king of Asgard. However, the second installment did not do that well and got mixed reviews. But people still loved Thor and wanted more. Then came Thor Ragnarok, which broke all records, and we also got to see the funny side of Thor. This movie also gave us the first super powerful female villain, Hela. Thor was shown to be at the peak of his powers in Ragnarok, and it really made an impact. All comic book fans wanted to see more and more of this new Thor, and they also got to see it with movies like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. No one expected a new Thor movie as the trilogy was also completed. But to our surprise, we got a new Thor movie releasing soon in November 2021, and it has a mind-blowing twist. Thor's ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, which has been portrayed by Natalie Portman in the first few movies, would be the new Thor. I personally think it's a huge decision, but I am so excited to see how she gets her powers and how it would be to see an entirely different version of Thor. I am sure you are equally excited to know this as well. Number 12, Doctor Strange. In the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange has been always known as the Sorcerer Supreme and as one of the most powerful superhero in the MCU. When the first movie was released in 2016, we got to see the whole new world of illusions and the very first possibilities of multiverse in MCU, and Benedict Cumberbatch gave his best to portray this famous superhero. Doctor Strange has been a member of the Avengers and has been the protector of the Time Stone, one of the Infinity Stones, which is contained in Eye of Agamotto. Being the master of magic and having a genius-level intellect, Doctor Strange can easily defeat almost every powerful supervillain. After all, he made Dormammu bargain, which was hilarious. With the new installment in the franchise, Doctor Strange will explore the scary side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is said to be the first horror movie from Marvel. It is also rumored that Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch, would be a part of the movie, and it would be a visual treat to see two most powerful Avengers fighting along and exploring more of the multiverse. But hold your breath, because I have kept the best for the last. Rumors suggest that the main villain would be the one and only Nightmare, and some big profile names are being suggested to play this supervillain, and one of them is Eva Green. Eva is a great actress, and I am sure if she is being finalized to play Nightmare, it would be Doctor Strange's nightmare to deal with her. Number 13, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Shang-Chi is going to be the first superhero film with an Asian protagonist for Marvel Studios. With so many characters yet to be explored from the Marvel comics, I think MCU took the right step to bring in Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is considered the master of Kung Fu, and Simu Liu is portraying him in the movie. It's good to see Marvel is not limited to just mainstream superheroes and is also trying to expand their universe by bringing in more characters, as MCU has endless stories to tell. The main villain has also been revealed for this movie, and it's Thanos. Got you. He is not Thanos but Mandarin. I know what you have in mind when I say Mandarin, but believe me, this is the real Mandarin and not the one we saw in Iron Man 2. Shang-Chi can be seen exploring more about the Ten Rings criminal organization. Yes, it's the same organization who kidnapped Iron Man, aka Robert Downey Jr. But let's not talk about Iron Man before I go into the memory lane. There are so many stories that can be explored with Shang-Chi, like how he became the member of the superhero group, Heroes for Hire, or even the most awaited storyline in MCU, Secret Wars. I can't wait to see the future. Number 14, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. When the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was released, no one in their noble minds would have thought that it would be a super successful franchise. Fans just loved this sort of superhero movie as they were before a group of intergalactic criminals who joined their hands to fight Ronan. Thanos also was teased in first installment of this movie series, and since then we knew something bad was coming our way, Infinity Wars. With established star cast and goofy performances, I was sure that we will get a trilogy at least, and they even appeared in Avengers Infinity Wars, and the Endgame. No one can forget the sacrifice Gamora had to make and that she somehow came back with Star-Lord too. Just time travel things, right? Not a huge deal. With the third movie slated to be released in 2022, director James Gunn said that he would love to explore the bad side of the new Gamora and also the new unexpected friendship bond of Rocket and Nebula. We could also see the new member of Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor. Or at least a cameo, as it seemed from the last Avengers movie that Thor is ready for the adventures of Asgardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn also said that he wants Elizabeth Debicki to reprise her role as the golden-skinned High Priestess of the Sovereign, Aisha, and that she will play a significant role in the movie as well, and I hope this means they are revealing Adam Warlock. Number 15, Black Panther 2. This is my personal favorite, and I am sure most of the Marvel fans loved Black Panther. He first appeared in Captain America, Civil War, and boy, that changed the whole Marvel history. When the first Black Panther movie was released and T'Challa came back to Wakanda after the events of Civil War and his father's death, we then got to see how advanced Wakanda was and why T'Challa deserved to be a king. This film, being the first standalone black superhero movie, broke all records and won a number of awards as well. Being one of the members of the Avengers, Black Panther has an amazing super suit made by her super intelligent sister Shuri. Even Captain America loved staying in Wakanda, and the Gentle King also gave him a new shield. With Black Panther 2, Chadwick Boseman will return to save Wakanda again from either Namor or Princess Xanda being the antagonist who's looking to take over. Namor has been also teased in Endgame, and it was a hint that we might see him in a future Black Panther movie. The script is still under development, so not much is known about the supervillain. It is also rumored that Michael B. Jordan's intense and troubled villain Eric Killmonger could also be in for a return, despite dying at the end of the first film. Well, we have to wait and watch for this one. Till then, Wakanda forever. Number 16, Fantastic Four. The concept of superheroes is not new to our world, and for a very long time, there have been superheroes movies being made and loved by audiences. But before the Marvel Cinematic Universe delivered their first hit Iron Man, most of the famous Marvel Comics characters' rights were owned by different movie studios around the world. The rights for Fantastic Four were with Fox Studios, and they even made movies to bring this amazing team to our lives. While the very first two movies were not that bad and made a decent impact because of the good performances, the reboot released in 2015 was a disaster and was a flop. No one ever thought that Fantastic Four would now be rebooted. But then we had the famous Fox and Disney deal on December 14, 2017, where the Walt Disney Company agreed to a $52.4 billion deal to acquire 21st Century Fox, including its subsidiary 20th Century Fox. Which meant all Marvel properties such as Fantastic Four, Deadpool, X-Men are back in MCU again, baby. The new rumors are that the studio is allegedly targeting a 2022 release date for what could be a superhero period piece set in the 1960s, a decade currently unexplored by the MCU. It is also being considered as a high priority in MCU, as this will let Marvel explore more supervillains for future Avengers movie. We hope to see a stellar performance and story, since now we have the Marvel's first family back to where they really belonged. Number 17, Blade. Many considered Black Panther the very first black superhero movie, but wasn't Blade released way back even before Black Panther? I had the same question, but after giving it a thought I concluded that Blade did not fight crime. He did not fight villains. He fought vampires and was motivated by revenge. In fact, he was a vampire. So it was not technically a proper superhero movie. I know everyone has their own views. That said, the first Blade movie was released 1998 and it was a blockbuster. Since then there were more Blade movies and all managed to do well. But after the last installment, which was released in 2004, it seemed that no one really thought about a new Blade movie reboot. Thankfully Marvel did not forget about this, and in 2023 we are getting a new Blade movie. Mahershala Ali is being roped in to play Blade this time and fans can't keep calm about it. Ali is a phenomenal actor, and he's not exactly new to Marvel. He has appeared as the villainous Cottonmouth in the first season of the Netflix series Luke Cage, and I think this reboot has the potential to put up box office numbers similar to Black Panther, especially considering all of the money that the original trilogy made. There were also rumors to introduce Blade in the new Dr. Strange movie because of multiverse angle to be explored and not exploring his origin story, but again this is all nothing but unadulterated speculation at this point. Number 18, Captain Marvel 2. With DC Comics delivering hits with woman-centric superhero movies such as Wonder Woman. By the way, I loved that movie. Marvel was desperate to bring in the most powerful superhero in the whole Marvel universe. Captain Marvel. Brie Larson was cast as Captain Marvel, and it was initially planned to introduce her in Avengers Age of Ultron, but Marvel chose to explore her backstory first. With the release of Captain Marvel in 2019 and it collecting over $1 billion worldwide, Marvel made a statement that the most powerful superhero in MCU has finally arrived, and it also opened doors for Kreese in MCU and a possible future Secret Wars movie. She even arrived in style in Avengers Endgame, and her new haircut looked so awesome. Even when she has been shown as a temporary member of the Avengers, I am pretty sure she will always return, whenever the world needs her. After all, she is an intergalactic warrior and always busy saving some of the other worlds as well. With Captain Marvel 2, it is rumored that Henry Cavill, Superman from DC Universe, would be introduced as Wolverine, and we can't more happy to hear this. I mean, Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine, and I am sure you all would agree that we cannot really imagine anyone else playing Wolverine, but I am sure if Henry plays this role, it would be really awesome to see him with those blades. After all, MCU is bringing mutants back, and what a great way to introduce them, then in a Captain Marvel movie. In 2019, Brie Larson also said she wanted Kamala Khan, aka the present-day Ms. Marvel, to appear in Captain Marvel 2. Too good to digest, right? Number 19, Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man. The superhero we did not expect but got it. In 2015, Marvel Studios surprised all comic book fans with an Ant-Man movie. An age where Iron Man and Captain America were already successful, was there even a need for Ant-Man? The answer is yes. With Ant-Man, Scott Lang and Hank Pym were introduced, and both had portrayed Ant-Man at some point. The main storyline unfolded the possibilities of quantum realm, and that time travel was possible in MCU. I am sure this came in handy, when the Avengers needed it the most. The movie managed to collect over $500 million worldwide and also opened the doors for a sequel. Ant-Man and the Wasp also managed to collect good figures, but most importantly it cleared more possibilities for time travel. With Ant-Man 3 we could also see new possibilities of a young Avengers team formation, and also Doctor Doom or Norman Osborn is rumored to appear in this movie. I really hope this happens, as it will open doors for a future supervillain for Avengers. After all, it's a Phase 5 movie and we can expect a new Avengers movie after Phase 4 and Phase 5 story builds up. Number 20, Aquaman 2. Last but not least on this list. I am happy to announce that we also have an Aquaman 2 movie coming up. The first film made more than $1.1 billion worldwide, making it the highest earner among all DC adaptations. So, of course, a sequel was in order. When Jason Momoa was confirmed to play Arthur Curry aka Aquaman, fans were really happy as they could finally feel DC was going in the right direction. Although Aquaman was first introduced in the Justice League movie which tanked, but Aquaman made a long-lasting impression which helped the solo movie to succeed. It is being said that Black Manta and Dr. Stephen Shin are being set up as the primary villains in the sequel. It doesn't mean that Orm won't have some kind of role to play in the action. Apart from that, Mera is also returning and will play a major role. I hope we get to see more of the underwater world Atlantis as it was a visual treat and first of a kind for a superhero movie. Marvel, I hope you are listening. We need Namor. Still, to finalize a supervillain there are various possibilities to introduce some characters such as King Nerus, a sometimes villain in the comics, the parasitic magical entity called the Thirst, Mera's evil sister Siren, Atlantis' resurrected former monarch the Dead King, or even the ocean god Triton, Queequeg, Iceberg Head, or the malignant amoeba. See, I told you, Aquaman has a huge fan following amongst supervillains too. I know it was a long list but I hope it was worth it. Like me, I am sure you are super duper excited for these movies and there are many more announcements ahead. Don't worry, Professor Faith will return and save the day for you again. Till then, have a good movie experience.